Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the neuroglial cells. The neuroglial cells, or we can say glial cells. In short form, I will write GC. Okay, in this lecture, I will write the GC. The glial cells are non-neuronal cells. Non-neuronal cells means they are not the part of, we can say they are not the part of neurons, but they are associated with the neurons and they perform different types of functions. Okay, so they are non-neuronal cells of nervous system. And here, around in our body, around 86 to 100 billion glial cells are present. Okay. They are supportive cells. They are supportive cells. They are supportive cells and packing cells. Okay, they are supportive cells and the packing cells. They are around 30 to 40 times more in number as compared to neuron. But if as compared to the size, they are smaller than the neuron, but they are smaller than neurons. Okay, so here the neuroglial cells are non-neuronal cells. Around they are more in number, 30 to 40 times more in number as compared to the neuron, but they are smaller than the neurons. Okay, so here on the basis of cytoplasmic processes, okay, so take the screenshot. So I will attach the another slide. This video is completely in the English language, and previously the video is the I will dictate all the videos of the anatomy and physio in Hindi and English both. Okay, so take the screenshot. So I will delete this and attach the new slide. Okay, on the basis of size, site, cytoplasmic processes, internal organization, the glial cells are of two types. One that is present in the CNS, means central nervous system, and the second one, the cells or the glial cells present in the PNS, that is the peripheral nervous system. In the CNS, there are four types of the cells of the glial cells are present. One is the astrocytes. Second, oligodendrocytes. Third, ependymal cells. And fourth one, that is the microglial cells or the microglial cells. In the peripheral nervous system, there are the two types of the glial cells are present. One is the satellite cells. Second one is the Schwann cells. Just for a joke, I want to say that in the Sanskrit language, the Schwann means that dog. So it's a kind of the dog cell, Schwann cell, dog cell. Joke apart, it's a name as the Schwann cells. Okay. So one by one, we will describe each and every cells. Okay. So let's start with the astrocyte cells. Take the screenshot. So I will attach the another slide. Now here, come to the astrocyte cells. Astro, as the word represent, astro means star shape and cyte means the cells. Means these cells are of star shape. These cells are of star-shaped cells, and they are most abundant and the most abundant glial cells and largest glial cells. Okay, so they are most abundant cells, star shape, and they what the function they perform, we will discuss. But before, I will tell you that the astrocytes are of the two types. One is protoplasmic astrocyte cells, and second one is fibrous. Okay, so here the astrocyte cells functions. What the functions they will perform? Let's see. The first function is that they will form the blood-brain barrier. They form the blood-brain barrier. What is a blood-brain barrier? The blood, the blood supply which present around the nervous system. Astrocyte cells form a check system or the check mechanism that anything which goes towards the nervous system from the blood, the astrocytes first check those compounds or the nutrients or the ions. Afterwards, they will check and they will allow. Okay, so just like they form the barrier system, blood between the blood and the brain. Okay, so it form the check mechanism so that the ions and nutrients and other things can regulate. And because our nervous system is too sensitive. Okay, so the astrocyte cells are like this only. They form the blood-brain barrier. Second function is that they control the neurotransmitters around the synapse. They control the neurotransmitters around synapse. The next function is that they regulate potassium ion. They regulate potassium ion concentration. And in the action, when we will take the lecture of the action potential or the synapse, we know that we will discuss that the potassium ion and the sodium ion are the most important ions to proceed the action potential. Okay, so astrocytes regulate the potassium ion, and the next function is that they regulate the glucose. They provide glucose to neuron for metabolic transport. Okay, so they provide the glucose to neuron for the metabolic support, not transport, it's a support. Okay, sorry, metabolic support, because the glucose is providing substance for the energy. Okay, so astrocyte is over. Now the second cells, so just take the screenshot, so I will change the slide. Now come to the next cells, that is the oligodendrocyte cells. The oligodendrocyte cells are same as a star shape. Oh, in the astrocyte cells, the shape of the astrocytes is just like, these are the astrocyte cells. Okay, so the oligodendrocyte cells are just okay, sorry. Oligodendrocyte cells are resemble like astrocytes, but are smaller, smaller, and having fewer processes. So oligodendrocyte cells are similar as the astrocytes, but they are having the smaller structure as compared to the astrocyte cells. Okay, so here, what they will do, first I will draw the structure of the oligodendrocyte cells, and here, so these are the oligodendrocyte cells. Okay, so here the oligodendrocyte cells are the smaller and the fewer processes, and what the function they are doing, they secrete the myelin sheath. They secrete the myelin sheath. Okay, and the myelin sheath, they secrete the myelin sheath, and the myelin sheath is formed with protein and lipid. Silent. Protein and lipid. Okay, so here, what the function of the myelin sheath is doing? The function of the myelin sheath is doing is that they insulate the neurons. The myelin sheath. What I'm describing about the function of myelin sheath. The myelin sheath is insulating the axonal membrane. And what will happen when the insulation of the axonal membrane done? That with the help of insulation, the speed of nerve conduction can enhance. Okay, this is the oligodendrocyte cells. Now, third one, that is the microglial cells. Okay, so I'm attaching the new slide. Just take the screenshot. Now come to the ependymal cells. Ependymal cells. Ependymal cells is the cuboidal to columnar shaped cells. What will happen? They shape the cuboidal to columnar shape, and they possess cuboidal just like this, and columnar just like these type of the cells. Okay, so here this is the columnar and this is the cuboidal shape. Okay, so ependymal cells are the cuboidal to columnar shape cells. They possess the microvilli and cilia on the outer surface of the structure. Uh, Cilia. Okay, so like that, microvilli or sometimes cilia. Cilia are the finger-like projections are present. Okay, so on the ependymal cells outermost surface, the cilia and the microvilli are present, and as the cilia and the microvilli are present, where the ependymal cells are present, we will discuss about the site. They form epithelial lining of ventricles of brain. What are the ventricles? In the future lectures, we will discuss about the ventricles. Ventricles means the cavities. Ventricles of brain, spinal cord, and spinal cord. Okay, so that epithelial lining is formed by ependymal cells, and that epithelial lining is known as ependyma. Epithelial lining is known as, termed as ependyma. So what are the functions? I will write the functions. What are the functions of ependymal cells? The ependymal cells is protect and nourish the brain and the spinal cord. Protect and nourish the brain and spinal cord. Next, the next function is that they involve in the production of CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, so the ependymal cells protect and nourish the brain and spinal cord. Simultaneously, they involve in the production of the cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, so this is the ependymal cells. Now come to the fourth cell, that is microglia cell. So I'm adding the new slide. Just take the screenshot. Now next is the microglial cells. Yeah, the microglia. So the microglia is the smallest glial cells here. They having the spine-like projections, what the function is that, first I will draw the diagram, that is spine-like projection they are having, and what the function is that they function as a phagocyte, like macrophages. Okay, so what happened? With the help of this phagocytic action, they remove the cell debris which are formed during the normal development of the nervous system. Okay, they remove the cell debris. They remove cell debris formed during normal development of nervous system. Okay, so that is microglial cells. Okay, so this is the four cells which present in the CNS. Now come to the next two cells which present in the PNS, that is the peripheral nervous system. So I'm adding the new slide. Take the screenshot. Now here, the two cells which present in the that is Schwann cells. Schwann cells. Here, the Schwann cells is the figure is that. Okay, sorry. Like that, the Schwann cells diagram is there. So here, they encircle the PNS axon. They encircle the PNS, peripheral nervous system axon. Like oligodendrocyte, they form the myelin sheath around the axon, but the axons which present in the peripheral nervous system. Okay. In the central nervous system's axon, the myelin sheath is secreted by the oligodendrocyte cells, whereas the axons which present in the PNS, their myelin sheath is secreted by Schwann cells. Okay. Like oligodendrocytes, they form myelin sheath around axon of peripheral nervous system's neurons. Okay, so here the Schwann cells is like that, and what the functions they are doing? The first function is that they secrete the myelin sheath, and second, they maintain and they work as maintenance. They work as maintenance and regeneration of neuron after injury. Means if their injury or if their jerk will happen will occur in the axon, So in the peripheral nervous system's axon, so the Schwann cells will help to regenerate or will help to recover these injuries. Okay, so here the Schwann cells also termed as neurolema cells. Okay, so these are the Schwann cells. And the second one is that is, I'm adding the new slide. Just take the screenshot. Now, the second is that satellite cells. The satellite cells are present. These are the flat cells. Surround neuronal cell body in ganglia. Okay, so these surround the cell bodies. Okay, ganglia, where peripheral nervous system's ganglia are present in the means these satellite cells are present in the surround the neuronal cell bodies and the in the ganglia of the peripheral nervous system. Okay, here the function is that the function. What are the functions? First, I will draw the diagram. Just like patch, they are present. Okay, so function. What the function they will do? The function is that they regulate the exchange of material between the neurons and the interstitial fluid. They regulate the exchange of material between neurons and interstitial fluid. Interstitial, the wrong spelling I have written. Interstitial, just wait. Interstitial fluid. Okay. Simultaneously, they regulate the neurotransmitter level. Regulate neurotransmitter level. Okay, so let's summarize neuronal cells. Let's summarize the glial cells. The glial cells are the non-neuronal cells. Okay, they are 30 to 40 times more in number, whereas as compared to the neuronal cells, they are smaller in size. According to the site, they are in the present in the central nervous system, either in the central nervous system or in the peripheral nervous system. In the central nervous system, there are the four types of the glial cells: oligodendrocytes, microglial cells, and the ependymal cells. And in the peripheral nervous system, there are the two type of the cells. There are the two type of the glial cells are present: satellite and the Schwann cells. The astrocyte cells are the cells just like the star shape. They are the most abundant glial cells and the largest glial cells. There are the two types, that is the protoplasmic and the fibrous shape. The function is that they form the blood-brain barrier, and the control is, and the second, they control the neurotransmitter around the synapse. Simultaneously, they regulate the potassium ion and they provide the glucose for the neurons, their energy purpose. Second cell, that is the oligodendrocyte, they are same as the astrocyte cells in the shape, but comparatively smaller than the astrocyte cells. They secrete the myelin sheath cells. Myelin sheath in the central nervous system, the myelin sheath is formed with the lipid and protein, and the myelin sheath form the insulation. So with the help of this insulation, the action potential speed is become very much faster. The third cell, that is the ependymal cells. It is in the shape of the cuboidal to the columnar shaped cells. They possess the microvilli and the cilia. They form the lining of the ventricles of the brain and spinal cord, and that lining is known as the ependyma. That's why it's known as the ependymal cells. Here, they protect and nourish the brain and the spinal cord. They also involve in the production of the cerebrospinal fluid. Fourth cell, that is the microglial cells, they are having the spine projections, and thus they are smallest neuroglial cells. They function as the phagocytic cells like the macrophages. They remove the cell debris from the which form during the normal development of the nervous system. The another two glial cells which present in the peripheral nervous system, that is, first is Schwann cells. The Schwann cells is encircle the PNS axon, and like oligodendrocyte cells, they secrete the myelin sheath around the axon. They maintain and the regeneration of the neurons if any injury occur. They also termed as the neurolemma cells. Here, in the second one is that is the satellite cells. The satellite cells is flat cells which present around the neuronal cell bodies. They present what the function is that they regulate the exchange of material between the neuron and the interstitial fluid. Simultaneously, they regulate the neurotransmitter level. So here the complete description of the glial cells. Now I will summarize the functions of all the glial cells, the functions of neuroglial cells. Here, the first is that they provide the structural support. First is the structural support. Second, they form the phagocytic action or remove the cell debris. And which type of the neuroglial cells perform this function? That is the microglial cells. Third, form the lining, and that is by the ependymal cells. And form the lining simultaneously. Then fourth function is that they help in the regeneration. Fifth one, they maintain the neurotransmitter level, maintain the ion level. Second, and next one, maintain the neurotransmitter level. So such functions are summarized I have here. So I think this lecture will surely helpful you and informative. Hope you guys this lecture. I hope you can subscribe my I hope you can further see my videos. If you like my videos, subscribe, like my channels and videos.